which will give you leaves. You plant another line of a crop that will give you its roots, like carrot.
Okay.
This is not supposed to be kales. A line that will give you something like a fruit. And then we have drip lines, which are passing here. And then you apply mulch around it so that you don't lose any water.
Okay.
And then you don't also do any weeding. So there's no weeding here with a djembe. You just come around and you pluck what you don't need.
Okay.
But you don't weed with a djembe, you don't disturb the soil. It stays the natural way in which the soil was. Sorry, I've uprooted a few carrots. It just stays the natural way. And whatever you pick from here ends up in the animal section. So all these are also, this is also food for the animals. So you'll see that when we go to the other side, because they are rabbits, they are goats, they are we have chicken. So all of them use what comes from here. So you'll be able to see that when we go.
About the leaves, about the roots.
Wapi ile line iko na vitu tatu tofauti? Ile line tuna vitu tatu tofauti ni vile tulikuwa tunapanda.
Sasa ninaona wewe hapa niko utoma kinde.
Wagire ukamuguda ri ukamatha.
Kaumira na kindu.
Riu ndugire kugetha wholesale. Wagire ugatua pilipili hoho. Ukamunya karati. Ugatua mathangu maigana ona ma spinach ugekira kiondo.
Ugathi na mori.
Ugathi ukamunya gitunguru. Ugacoka ugatua biriganya. Ukaumira ngeti kiondo giaku kina kile
kia ihora.
Kiihorite indo ciothe. So that's the way it is supposed to be. Right. So it's organic farming. You grow all the crops together. Okay. Yeah. So what we try to do is, if you plant a line of kales, you can plant a line of carrots in between, and you can plant maybe something like capsicum, so that you can harvest a leaf, harvest a fruit, and then harvest a root.
So you are talking of leaves, roots, and fruits.
Yes, leaves, roots, and fruits
at the same time.
At the same time, so that if you grow them that way, you actually discover that they don't even get infected with the pests. Especially if you grow a leaf and then you put something like garlic or onions in between, and then you have a root somewhere. Yes. There's a way they work, and then you find there are no pests around there because the garlic will not allow any pests to future there. Wow. Yeah, and then when you are harvesting, it's also enjoyable. You pick a few leaves, you pick a few roots, you pick a few fruits, and then you put in your basket. And then for the way we've done it, every 4 beds of whatever we are growing, the next bed is a fruit tree. It's a line for fruit trees. So like this one here is a line for fruit. You can see this is all fruit. From the other side, you can see bananas, you can see mangoes, you can see lemon, and then you have guavas here. You have apples, and then you have bananas. So that's the way it is done. So the idea is, when all of these have grown, they will form a canopy. Because the leaves of these fruit trees and the leaves of these fruit trees will meet somewhere. And then the vegetables under here will not be losing any water. So this will be a very nice area to work. When you are working here and you are growing your vegetables, you can always pick them very well without so much sunshine. And then the other thing, you don't lose a lot of water. You don't lose a lot. And we continue improving on soil fertility. So this is the first crop. If you go to the area where we are doing the second crop, after we removed whatever was being grown here, some of them were very, well, I would call them, they are trees that were not beneficial to the land. So, and they dropped a lot of leaves here. So that's what we are going to trying to change, so that then you can have soil that is fertile enough to produce so many of the traditional vegetables and indigenous vegetables that we want to grow here. So that is sweet saga. And then you have sweet potatoes there. That's a line of sweet potatoes. You'll appreciate to have the need of having so many of them, because this is what the goats are eating. This is what we are giving the goats. So you harvest the sweet potatoes, But then you use the vines for the goats. So you'll
So
be
you
able
still
to
have the goats.
we have goats and rabbits, and they feed on this. So,
Okay.
so it's the way we are growing them. Yeah.
So
it'll be-
that means there's no wastage in here.
No, there's no wastage. There's no wastage. Eventually, when it works, because this is just the beginning,
Yeah.
it'll be completely different. So we are trying to train people on a different system of farming. Yeah. And I want you to pick a few of these. This is Sesbania. It's a soil fertility crop, and because we are going to go to the poultry section, I want you to carry a few leaves of that with you, and you'll see how the poultry responds to it. So just pluck a few and carry them with you. Do it away. Yeah, just pick a few. You can help them pick a few of those. Okay. So that when we
So
go
you
to
just pick the leaves.
yeah, you just pick the leaves and you'll see how the poultry love them. Yeah, very good. So when you find that the eggs here have a completely yellow yolk, it's because we feed them on a lot of green. Yeah, they eat a lot of green, and you'll be able to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
Naambianga Chris tukate.
We can go to the
Yeah, to some, this one is
Wao wapenda paudo kumeka huko.
Because then you'll be able to appreciate when these lines of fruit trees, we have 25 different varieties of fruit free trees on this piece.
25.
Yeah, these are oranges just beginning to flower, and then we have guavas, we have lemon there, and then we have macadamia, and then we have bananas. And then we have pomegranate. It's a very expensive fruit. That one there, yeah, that's pomegranate.
Okay, okay.
It's what they call kukumanga. It's a very expensive fruit. One piece is 200 shillings. Exactly. So you'll be able to see that when. So when all of them are grown, then the land will be very, very good. Yeah. Yeah. And then here we have we are growing we are growing kunde here as a short-term crop, which will grow very fast before we have some crops in the nursery which are just germinating. So instead of the land staying idle before they come, this one takes a very short time to grow. So we decided to put kunde here, and within 2 weeks we will remove all of these and then transfer what we have now in the seed beds to these these beds, and that's when now we'll apply the approach of having maybe one row of a crop that gives you leaves, another row of a crop that gives you its roots, and then a row that gives you its fruit. Yeah. So you can have spinach here,
Yes.
and then you can have spring onion,
Yes.
and then you have capsicums, pilipili hoho.
Yes.
And then you can be harvesting all of them together, and it really helps the soil. And then we put mulch to prevent the water loss.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's what is happening here,
Wow.
and I hope you get inspired to get into farming. Yeah. So the fertilizer here is all organic, so we don't buy the fertilizer that we have in the shops. We make our own fertilizer here. When we harvest, whatever it is that we are harvesting, we use the mulch, and there's a way we are making also, we are improving soil fertility.
Okay.
You just dig a trench around here, all the way to the end,
Okay.
and then you pick banana stalks, and you put them, you cut pieces of banana stalks, and you'll be able to see that in the section we are doing now.
Okay.
And then you mix that with manure, and you cover it. So that is natural NPK. It improves the potassium and phosphorus in the soil. And you can compare the ones grown with that and the ones grown with the organic fertilizer. They're completely different. Yeah, so you'll be able to see that. So that's a line of fruit trees, and then we have 4 beds, and then you have another line of fruit trees. Then you continue to another 4 beds, and then another line of fruit trees.
Okay. So the irrigation is done in form of drips.
Yes, the irrigation is in form of drips, and we are using improved drip lines from Netafim in Israel, which actually kind of help you use very little water. They apply water only in the places where you have the crops. Yeah, so they're very, very very, very good. So once we remove this, then we'll be able to apply mulch and be able to also vary the kind of crops that we are growing.
Okay.
Yeah.
The water runs throughout all?
No, it's regulated. We only run the water when it is completely dry. When there is rain, we depend on rainwater. Yeah, and you can pick this. This is something you can go and eat. These ones are ready for eating.
This is what you are calling.
Yes.
Is it?
Yeah. So when you come to the shamba, you just pick them.
Which kind of beans are these?
These beans are. Hii dry sana. This has become very.
Inakaa kama ile tulikuwa tunaita bogo.
Yeah. Noe, lakini mtoto ya Noe. Poultry section.
Exactly.
And as you realize, because it's done every day.
Yes.
I think you have passed through some places where people are keeping poultry.
Yeah.
And it smells a lot.
That's true.
So as you can hear, there is no smell here.
No smell.
Because it won't stay here for long. Immediately it's put here before rain falls on it. We'll have mixed it with the soil, and then we apply it in the beds. And so from the poultry section to the land, and then from the land you are carrying leaves to go and feed the animals. So it's circular bioeconomy. Yeah, each one of them is feeding the other.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, so the stuff from the animal section will feed the soil here.
Soil, yeah.
The soil will grow the crops, and the crops will feed the animals.
Will feed the animals.
So it just continues moving around.
I go sheep.
Very good.
Kwiraga sinaona
ona haha na hatiani uhani hali muno hali ene hanta hagiri gucomoka no ti hacomoku uguo rera ri haha iguru riu itubire othe fati kuigwo ndu fati kuigwo to ile muritu othe no racukana guku
Riu ni wahumbira riera.
Yeah, sasa kwa itubire gukomera muno ngere ni yakomera ndari kuiga
na niguo cigaragaragia rimwe
iciagaragaria
riu no na riu kura mataka kamire komeire ri ihinda riu
oh yeah
ihinda riu ukori umeigite no na komera
On the other acre, that's where I have the office for Worldserve. So we organized since I had retired, and now our workers are retired because we moves now with Mama everywhere.
Yes.
So when I come to the office, she also comes to the land. So I work on the other side and she works on
The other side. Then in the evening you live together.
Yes, yeah. So this place has been under a contractor who is now helping us in constructing.
Okay.
Once the contractor is out, the plan is to have a few staff houses here.
Okay.
And then that is a section for recreation and meals. So what is marked here, those are the parts that we are going to put concrete.
Okay.
And then we will plant grass. There's somebody who is already working on the grass. We will plant grass all over. So the whole of that section will be green. You can come and rest there.
Okay.
Egg of yellow. Yeah, because you know when it's in its natural habitat, they move around and they scratch the ground and they eat everything. Yeah. You can still go in and feed the other side. And also kidogo tu. Nienda kama kiona hilo leo. So what we are doing here, we have raised this section,
Yes.
because we realized that people use different ways of poultry keeping. You can have sawdust, so that the droppings from the animals will be mixing with the sawdust, and you can remove that and keep it aside.
Okay.
We discovered when we came that our animals were falling sick so much. And the doctor came and advised us that the doctor came and advised Muramba and this in attract zile living creatures ziko kwa mchanga zinakuja kwako, and then they work on the fertilizer. Sasa hiyo ina improve ile kitu tutapanda hapa, mtarudi tutakuja kuona ile tutapanda hapa itakuwa tofauti sana. Gahada shirio hau leo no thondekere fertilizer no handu hangi, and then you come and apply it on your crops. But this one, because it's a permanent hedge we are putting here, and it is a hedge of fruit, so we are going to line it with the fruit tree, with the passion fruit, which will now climb onto this, and then you can be getting your passion as you work in the land. So you will be drawing your passions from here. And then you can also have maize. You can have several stalks of maize. Tradition for roasting. So that as you move through the farm, you live with some maize, you live with some fruits, you live with some vegetables, you live with some roots, it could be carrots, it could be anything. And then you also live with some onions and tomatoes. So that's the way organic agriculture works. And this is our mulch, so we use this for covering. Okay. Once the crops have germinated and they are now growing, so this one is being kept here so that it's the one we are going to use as mulch along this area here now, once we have planted.
So these are the roots that you are saying that they are poisonous?
No, these ones are okay. Mokema is quite okay in the farm. Those farms... Leo mutumia ule oikaragia compound area yake gako mwena ule na aria mararuta wira guku mugunda na omena kero kira.
Aria nimeona matigo thina.
Ire ni kiandwa mugunda.